So I am recording what lectures are being recorded, and they will eventually. So this will eventually be up on YouTube. You'll see an announcement for this on not Discord, on Canvas, that this lecture's gone up. Let's go over. Let's see. Let's go over the syllabus. And I'll do attendance. So again, this is Introduction to Game Design and Development. Let me get this a little bit bigger so I can at least read it. So this is 1303. The section number is 0490. Again, it's the fall 2025 semester. Today is the first day of classes. It's going to go, the last day of the term is December 13th. You will be done with this course before the 13th. I'll tell you that right now. That's like the last day grades at the end, but finals week is much sooner. Modality, basically how the course is being offered. Face-to-face, basically, it's basically offered face-to-face. You're expected to be in the classroom. And then hybrid labs. We'll talk about that in one moment. Your lecture is on Wednesday. I want to make this very clear. Your lecture is on Wednesday, and your lab times are on Monday in this course. And the reason for this is that we are losing Mondays regularly in this course for different holidays. So I'd rather not lose lectures and so basically I'm maintaining the lectures, and we're going to be losing labs. Now, don't worry about this particular week. With this week's lab, I'll go over this on Wednesday, because it's basically, hey, welcome to Unreal Engine. Here's the basics you need to know. The first assignment basically is just to get you up and going, and to play around with the level that you're given with. We'll talk about that. So on Wednesdays, you're expected to be here in this room for lecture. Now, we'll talk. There's a section here we'll talk more about. If you're sick, obviously don't come to class. Tell me, and there's a way you will be able to connect to class to be here for the lecture. I'll talk about it in a moment. Lab, basically, some of you are going to work better at home. It's basically what it amounts to. And rather than have you drive half hour, to some of you up to an hour to get here, be here for 2 hours, and then drive another hour back home. It is more productive to have you just be home and work at home. That's what the hybrid. You can be here. You don't have to be here. There will be times I might have to ask you to be here in the lab for a particular reason. Like if you're showing something off, you kind of need to be here. I really need to give you a face-to-face. I need to see what's going on one of these machines. I need to basically give you that feedback face-to-face. So that's what hybrid means, is that it's both, you can be here in person, you can be at home. Now, for those of you who don't have a machine that can run Unreal Engine, because that's a beefy engine, we maintain these labs for you. So if you don't have a PC of your own that can run Unreal Engine and do the development side of Unreal Engine, it's not just that you can play a game. It's great that you can play Fortnite on the PC. What we're asking in terms of a PC is above and beyond what you need to play Fortnite. And I'm using Fortnite as the game du jour right now for the Unreal Engine. I'm trying to think of any other. I think Palworld is Unreal Engine, I think. Am I wrong? I think Palworld's Unreal Engine. But essentially, like, what you need to do development is not the same as what you can play. So I just want to make that clear. So we maintain these labs, maintain equipment. I know a couple of you saw me put away Oculus Quest devices earlier today. I came in and forgot that I had left those out. Oops. They were out to charge. But yeah, we have tablets. We have phones, that you can use for various different projects. Equipment can be checked out for various reasons. So that's that. So we're not expecting you to go out and have to buy $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 worth of equipment. If you can't afford that, that's fine. We have that equipment here for you. And that's how we maintain your competitive advantage with other programs, to be quite honest. It's 3 credit hours. So the course description is an introduction to the electronic game development and the game development careers. Includes examination of history and philosophy of games, the game production process, employee factors for success in the field, current issues and practices in game development industry. Take a seat, please. We will go over. There'll be pieces with this where we'll talk about different trends and different things within the industry. But for the most part, this course is going to be an introduction to using Unreal Engine. No prerequisites. I don't expect you to know Unreal Engine. I don't expect you to know any game development. Just that you want to sit down and you want to learn. Course materials. Online. So this is at home, an online capable PC computer. Again, this is the labs. You will need an Epic Games account. And this is basically so you can log into onto the PC and get access to the engine. Install of Unreal Engine. So in this room, we've installed 5.6. And I'm not sure if it's a mix of 5.6 and 5.6.1, but either is fine. 5.6 is basically what we're going to work on this term. Come in, sit down. Are you looking for 1306? Introduction to game development? Yes. Sit down. You're in the right place. You're late.
I don't know where to sit.
Any place. No assigned seating.
All right.
In the future, please arrive earlier.
I'm a little bit lost in the building.
That's okay. It's first day. I am your instructor, Professor Wallach. Please refer to me as Professor Wallach. All right. It's just a respect thing that I ask you to do. My office is technically upstairs in 313. Don't look for me up there. I'm not up here. Look for me here. If I'm on campus, I'm in this room, or I'm downstairs at my boss's office. The only other place I might be here on campus is downstairs in the cafeteria, that cafe area, between classes. Those are the 3 places to look for me. Office hours. So contact me for an appointment. I can meet before class or at night. So after 5 p.m. on Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Tuesday I can't meet with you, and that's because I have a Tuesday night class. That's the only reason. I literally have an hour between the end of my 3 to 5 class and then an hour before the next class. So can't meet with you Tuesday night. At some point I will be here. I'll have posted hours of when I'll be here on campus earlier to open up this lab. So typically it'll be about an hour before class. For this class or Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, I can be here an hour to be. I can be here an hour earlier to open up the lab. If you need me earlier than that, then you need to arrange an appointment for that. Syllabus change disclaimer. The faculty reserves change. Mostly it's basically any changes that you're going to see in the syllabus is because I screwed up something and need to fix something factually. Like I put a wrong date or something. I don't think that's the case this time. I was pretty good finding everything. But I may have to put something into the syllabus. That actually happened literally Thursday. I was told to put something into all my syllabus. So that's the other reason why you might see the syllabus change. Summary of course assignments. So basically this course has 4 different assignments that I'm going to give you. I will give you quizzes. They are given on Canvas. They're basically a bunch of questions that you answer. Journals, it's similar to a quiz, but I give you a question and I basically, hey, tell me what you think about this topic. Quizzes and journals go hand in hand. Then there are the lab assignments, and those are the primary driver of your course assignment in this, and then there'll be a project. So at the end of this course, there's going to be a small project that I'll ask you to do. The grade scale, A's 90. So basically, the way I calculate your grades is through Canvas. Basically, I've got it all set up that Canvas does all that work for me, so I don't have to think about it. So if you look at your score in Canvas, it'll give you an idea where you are. Now, grades that you don't have any grades for, Canvas doesn't calculate them into things. So if you're low, you could that can improve later in the course. But basically, the grade scale is A's are 90s, B is 80s, C is 70s, D is 60 and above, and F is below 59.9. It's 59.9 and below. Late work policy. Basically, late work is only allowed with my approval. Basically, you need to be in contact with me. If something's going on, you need to be talking with me about that. We'll talk about professionalism in a moment, but this is a professionalism piece. No work is accepted after the end of the class. Please come earlier. I know today's the first day, so.
Yeah, I got kind of lost.
Deadline plan. Some assigned work have hard deadlines, which they have to be turned in by. Your final project in this course, for example, the last assignment will have a deadline. Will have a deadline on it, and that's because it's the end of the course, effectively. Failure to turn in work will result in an automatic 0 in that particular case. Failure to turn in any work will give you an automatic 0, by the way. Now, you have assigned dates. You are expected to get those in by those dates. I am very flexible with dates. I know there's a couple of students who have had me in other courses. I can make pretzels out of due dates when need be. Daniel, when was the last time I did that for you?
I think last semester or last year, I completely forgot to turn in a project, and you let me turn it in before
Okay.
classes.
Yeah, like pretzels. I make pretzels out of due dates sometimes. And that's just me being honest with you. Don't get me wrong. I have started grading where I take off points for you being late. All right. If you're not in communication with me about what's going on and what's happening, and think about this: if you were on the job at work and you weren't telling your boss something was up, and then something that was due wasn't done, and you'd be in deep trouble. So this is about me trying to instill, But if something was going on at work, something that was out of your control, and you were telling your boss what was going on, he would understand and could accommodate for that what's going on. Think about this like treat me like your boss. Seriously, like I know you're instructor, but in some ways, think of me like I am your boss on the job. If something's going on, you should be telling me that. And the way I'm treating this is that I am trying to put you out, instill good practices in you as an employee that will make you effective on the job. If you're going to do something unprofessional here, you will do something unprofessional in the workplace. And it's my job to be basically, secret objective over here, make you professional and weed out unprofessional behaviors. All right. See Canvas for the complete course calendar, outline, detailed descriptions of graded work, and other related material. So basically, after this point, after we're done with this document, it's all in Canvas. Career policy. So basically, you have a student email address. You have, and also Canvas has, what's the best? Has a message system. keep an eye on that on a daily basis. Also, announcements will go through. So you'll see announcements today. I don't know if there's anything I have to announce today for this course. I know there'll be announcements in the other course later today. So, but basically, keep an eye on for announcements, keep an eye on for emails, keep an eye on any messages through Canvas. And those are the three ways that basically I'll be communicating with you officially. Unofficially, once I've got Discord on this machine, you can also communicate through me through Discord. Now that's less official, but more like if something was very immediate, you could get a hold of me through Discord. And we have a Discord server for that purpose alone. Use Canvas to submit your work. All right, that's the only way I'm going to take your work is through Canvas. Because if I take it through, if I start opening other ways, it gets where is your work? It becomes the question, and it becomes chaos. So, the other thing is that don't use your personal email address. Start using your student email address. Start using Canvas to contact me. And the reason is that I can guarantee those methods will work, will get to me. I can't guarantee that your Gmail account or your Yahoo account or wherever your burner account is going to get to me. That's just not gonna happen, unfortunately. I've seen Google, I've seen Yahoo being blocked by a student admin for various reasons. So basically, these systems are within the community college system, and therefore they are guaranteed to get to me. I expect about 24 hours for a reply at the most on a from Monday through Thursday. Friday afternoon, when we hit noon on Friday, then longer responses. Sometimes it might be longer on Saturday, and so Friday through Saturday can be longer. Sunday I should include. Not always. I might be at home on a Saturday, and you might message me, and I'll be like, "Oh, here's the answer." So it's not always, but this is. There may be times I may not be communicating as frequently on the weekend. So, all right, asset store policy. So for our purposes, Epic Games has a website called Fab, which is their new version of their asset store. All right, you need to get permission from me first before you start using any assets out of the asset store. You shouldn't need to use any assets per se for this course. We're more focused on how the engine works, what's going on, what we can build within the engine before we start getting assets. And any assets that you might need, I actually provide. Like if I know there's I think there's a few sound effects that I might provide. Having said that, we will use what's called the starter assets in this course, and that's not considered part of the asset store in terms of this policy. But don't go and download a super high poly character model to replace the mannequin in Unreal Engine, because you don't need it. So this is about focusing. The other thing is that there's really two concerns. Is that some assets are going to duplicate things I want you to actually do by hand, so you can learn that process. And the other thing is that if you were to put some of these assets into a public repository, it will violate the license that you have assigned to in the asset store, because you're now sharing that asset publicly. That we're not going to deal with. That's something else that deals with the asset store. So yeah, basically and if you use assets without permission, it's considered plagiarism. That's the penalty. All right. This falls under the academic integrity policy. So dishonest includes cheating, plagiarism, academic falsification, intellectual property dishonesty, which is the asset store we just talked about. Academic dishonesty facilitation, so basically helping others to cheat, and collusion, working together to cheat. Consequences may include, and this is not comprehensive, but the student can receive a failing grade of 0 on the assignment. If the assignment within a group, the lowest assignment is dropped. Basically, scholastic dishonesty report form will be submitted regarding the incident. You may be dropped from the course with a failing grade, a letter grade at F. There may be another grade that represents. I know there's previously AF was when you were removed from a course by the instructor. I think they only have F here. I don't think there's pop. Can someone get the door, please? It's now gotten a little too noisy. Not included here is that you, depending on how egregious you are been, you can be removed from the program. Process to remove you from the program can be if you're going to cheat, be malicious. Destroying other people's work. All right. More than one person works on these machines. If you go in and you destroy someone else's work on this machine, that is malicious, and that can, I will tell you right now, that will prompt you to be removed from the program, because we just can't have you here. Bottom line, if you're going to destroy other people's work in a malicious way, you're not going to be here. AI course policy. All right, use of AI tools are not allowed without permission from your instructor before using it. Bottom line. I know there's a lot of AI embedded everywhere, but specifically for this course, it's like going out and using an AI to build content. I built images, I built a model, I built animations using this AI tool. That's nice, but that's not what this course is about, or what. If you have an inkling that you're going to be using AI in a particular way, please talk with your instructor before using an AI tool. Depending on the situation, you may receive permission to use the tool, given permission with restrictions, or explain why you can't use the tool for the assignment. Included on this, anything you need to write, don't go to ChatGPT. All right. I will tell you right now, I will know that you're using ChatGPT because ChatGPT is going to give you garbage. It's going to give you this text of garbage which means nothing. There's also things that ChatGPT does that I will pick up on as well. There's things that ChatGPT, how it writes and whatnot, which is, nice, and it's flowery, but ultimately it's garbage. And that's the thing I want to get across to you right now, is that you're going to find that a lot of AI is garbage right now. I know AI is huge and it's big and there's a lot of discussion. You're going to see all of the executives are like, oh, yay, AI, but they're not using it. They're not the rank and file, they're not using it. And even if you used AI, you'd have to check what it's doing, what it's saying, what it's writing, because AI is going to make up stuff. AI will give you a character with 4 fingers, or maybe 8 fingers, or 2 arms. I mean, 2 arms on one side, I should say. I mean, it's not like, at least with Mortal Kombat, they got, that was stop motion capture. They're using like Wallace and Gromit style models. That's Goro we're talking about. He has 4 arms. So ultimately, AI, if you're going to be using AI and you're not going to tell me about it, you are cheating yourself. Bottom line. Because if you don't, because you're not going to know what the AI is giving you back, and you're not going to know if it's right. It's really what it comes down to. You're going to get this a bunch of stuff from the AI tool, and you'll have no clue whether it's doing what you really want it to be doing, or know how it's working or why. And that's ultimately cheating you. Will there be a time that you'll be using AI? Yeah, sure, but this is not the time and place. All right. If the equivalent is that if you were in learning your multiplication tables, and you're using a calculator to do those, you're not learning the multiplication tables. You're putting 3 times 3 and getting 9, but you don't know why 3 times 3 is 9. That's the same thing here with AI. Situations where you have used an AI tool without permission will be treated as plagiarism. So, if you're using a tool to help assist your work, disclose it to me. You being honest up front means a lot more than being honest with what you're doing up front is going to mean a lot more than it will mean a lot more in your favor. If you're saying, "Oh, I'm using Grammarly to help write this to make sure I get grammar," cool, I'm fine with that, but you need to tell me that. Yeah, tell me that you're using a tool, and that's all. You say, "Hey, Professor Wallach, it's a message. I'm using Grammarly to help write this piece." Cool. Tell me before. That's basically tell me before you use it in mass. Tell me that you're doing it, so at least I know. All right. There is one caveat in this AI tool policy, and it deals with Visual Studio with the AI tools. Certain versions, aka now, the ones you're going to get from the install now, have certain code suggestions, autocomplete features. This is a generative AI built right into your tools. You are allowed to use it, but it's not recommended that you do. In fact, you might want to turn it off because it's too annoying. In fact, actually, Microsoft has actually made a change to Copilot, and Copilot is the suite of AI tools under Microsoft. They've changed Copilot in Visual Studio so it's not so happy suggestion. Type 3 letters and a new suggestion pops up. It will at least wait for you to stop typing to give you a suggestion now. So you will find that the tools is overly helpful, and it's not, and it can sometimes get in your way of work. So the goal here is to learn the basics so that you can do higher level things. And if you're letting the AI do things for you, then you are cheating yourself of learning those basic fundamental pieces. Again, if you don't know how to multiply, if all you know is typing in 3 times 3 in the calculator and getting 9, then when I ask you to do 3 times 4, you'll have no clue what's going on. And that's the thing, again, with the AI. If all you knew is to plug in something in the AI, you won't know when the AI is telling you a bunch of garbage, or it's doing it wrong, or know why it's doing it wrong. Attended honestly. So regular attendance is expected, and there's a huge block. Basically, if you don't tell me if you don't show up, you don't tell me anything, it's unexcused. If you're here because of an emergency or ill, at least tell me beforehand, and I can excuse you. Even though if you're not here, you're still responsible for the material that's being covered. Now, granted, I am recording most of my lectures, so that's going to help you out after the fact. But it's then now your responsibility to go back and watch those lectures as soon as you can. I don't know anything about exams. There's stuff in here about exams and makeup stuff, and it's not applicable to the course because we don't have those. Yeah, again, students who will be dropped from the course, if you've been just really absent or tardy a certain number of times to preclude meeting the course objectives, basically, the ballpark figure is we meet twice a week. So if you've missed 4 classes, you're in danger of being dropped from the course. If you're absent more times, like six to 8 times, then I'll be on your case. Basically, in the case of tardies, basically where you were tardy before, I will just mark you as not being here at all. Again, professionalism. I understand that life happens, things happen. Do your best to tell me what is going on, and that's again, what would you do if you were on the job? You tell your boss what's going on. You have a family emergency. You got to take a family member to the hospital. I understand that. Tell me what's going on. Tell you the same way you would tell your boss what is going on. Again, the course is being offered in person in hybrid formats. So hybrid, again, meaning that you could be here, you could be at home. So you are required to attend lectures in person. If there are situations where you won't be able to be here in person, and for those reasons, we'll be able to, again, normally I'd be on Discord as well, broadcasting my screen. Sort of. I got to get this machine fixed so I can do that properly. But basically, I'd be sharing my screen, showing you, going over the material. Again, if you're sick, you may attend your lectures online. If you do so, just message me before class if possible. All right. You may opt not to attend the lab sessions in person or online. So it's up to you whether you're in the classroom or you are at home. So if you have a machine at home that you are perfectly fine working on, you feel comfortable working at, get on Discord. And there's a virtual 251 room that you'll be in for the room. You can turn off your microphone. I don't need to require you to have your cam on. You're adults. I know during the pandemic some schools required you to have your camera on. And yeah, no, I don't need I don't need that. You're adults. We'll go over the how to get onto Discord in a moment. Withdrawal policy. Basically, you may withdraw from the course after the official date of record. It is your responsibility to initiate and complete the withdrawal request form. For that, we're going to go directly. The last day to withdraw with a W is November 3rd. Yesterday was the last day for refund with a full 100% refund for course dropped was yesterday. Today classes begin. We will not have class next Monday because of Labor Day. Last day to drop. Last day to drop to drop the course completely is November 9th. And then after that, you will get a W in terms of if you withdraw from the course. After November 3rd, I have to say whether you're passing or failing. Thanksgiving is so from number 26th to 30th, college will be closed. Let's just check the date just quickly. Okay, so we won't have a lecture on the 26th is a Wednesday, so we won't have a lecture that week. We will have a lab on the 24th, but at that point, you're in a project you're at the end of the course project at that point, so it's not that big of a deal. The term ends November 13th. The final exam is the 8th through the 13th, so 2 weeks after Thanksgiving. tell you. Your final will be December 8th. It's a Monday. That's technically when your work should be in. But I can also take it earlier as needed. Again, the term ends 13th. That's the Saturday of that week. Final grades are posted on the 13th as well. And then, just so you know, winter break is December 22nd through January 2nd. So campus is literally closed for like 2 weeks. Almost 2 weeks. So if there's anything you need done after this term, like registration for the next term, after the 22nd, no one's not going to be here to help you. Campus is closed for Christmas and New Year's. So. College policies. ADA statement. NCT will adhere to all federal, state, and local laws, regulations regards to providing reasonable accommodations to for equal opportunity, equal educational opportunities. The student's responsibility to contact the Office for Students with Disabilities to arrange the appropriate accommodations. CDO, DS. There's another document I'm going to go over. AA statement. This is the school's AA statement. Basically, it says we really don't know what we're doing, and we're going to basically let our instructors and divisions as do policies per classes and divisions as required. So we went over the AI policy for this course. So basically saying don't expect a comprehensive AI policy from the school. Student handbook. You're expected to follow all rules and regulations found in the student handbook. Student services. There's a document we'll go over quickly. Provides a multitude of services to support students. There's another document we'll go over. If you are pregnant, you are parenting. Basically, there's if you need any help because you are you're parenting a child, for example. You may need special accommodations to meet course requirements. Should meet with the student parent liaison. There's an email here. Yeah, so there's support for you, and I've actually I've done accommodations for a student who had a child, who was parenting a child. They were a couple nights. Particularly, I think last term there was a couple nights where they could not be here in the classroom, but was able to accommodate them, being at home. So, questions, concerns, and complaints. So basically, if you're having an issue with me, the first person you should be talking to is my boss. And so this is if you have an issue and you can't. The first person you should be talking to me is with me and see how we can resolve the issue. If you can't resolve the issue after working with me, the next person is going to be my boss, Rebecca Sanchez. She's the division head. Her office is downstairs in 173, and her number and email is here. You go to her. The first thing she's going to tell you, have you worked with me? Next thing they're gonna, and the person above Becca is Debbie Hoffman, who is the instructional dean. Again, you go to Hoffman's office. They're gonna say, "Have you worked with me first?" So this is work. Basically, this is if you've got questions, concerns, complaints, here's the process to go through it. I mean. First round should be with me. Should be working with me. After that, then we're looking at talk to my division chair. Talk to the instructional dean. That's the process to go. You go outside this process, they're gonna point you back to the process. So here I am explaining you the process so you can understand it, so that you don't, if you have an issue or concern, it can be heard well and taken seriously. That's the other thing, is that we will take this seriously. That is the end of this document. Student services. So this is the service document. I haven't been updated in a while, but it's pretty much, as what you'll need. This document is clicky, so it has links to other things. Year-round course planning. Come talk to me. So for all of you in the game development program, I'm one of your academic advisors. And if you've got a question about what courses you need to take, what advising, what not, I'm one of the people to come talk to. In fact, when at some point you'll need to meet with me so I can generate what's called a path to graduation document. I brought out Daniel. I got a couple others in here who have taken courses with me who have them already. And this is basically to figure out how we're going to get you through the curriculum in a reasonable amount of time that makes sense for you. And these documents are tailored to your needs and your situation. Right? Not everyone can take 5 courses every term. Not everyone can be taking, 15, 16 credits each term. So I need to make this bigger. I can't read it. Counseling and advising, again, I am one of your counselors in terms of academics, but there's other advising and out there. I know a lot of you will meet with Angelica, who is within our department, who will help you. So after you meet with me, you'll meet with Angelica, and she'll actually put in actually place you into the courses, enroll you, and that can be done over email. There's other program that, again, I should point out there is what's called timely care. So if you're sick, you don't have health care, that's just going to help you. You have some sort of health care through the school. There are advisors, it's counselors, help you define community resources, get assistance, with housing, childcare, food, other needs, mental health needs are through this as well. We understand that you are a human being, and we've got these resources here so that you can achieve what you need here to be successful. Completion Center. So if this is your first time here, this will help you with goal setting, course planning, connected resources. They have a first year experience course that's like 1 credit you can take. Get started on the right track. You can also qualify in the National Society of Leadership and Success. Career Services Center. This will be important later on because one of the things that they'll do is they'll help you with resumes, practice for interviews. In fact, and that's important because in one of the courses that you'll take is a portfolio course. You will produce a resume. Here's the Career Service Center. You should be asking them for help with that particular assignment. There's actually multiple assignments with your resume. And we also go over cover letters in that course as well, and that will help you with that as well. Early alerts and care. So this is left hand. Literally, I call this left hand, right hand. Early alerts is basically anything that is academic. Cares is everything that's everything else that's not academic. So if you're having an issue with you can't get to campus. There's an issue with your car. You can't get to campus. There's a transportation issue. That's cares. There's again. Earlier, if you're having an issue getting hold of, well, there's no textbooks in this class, but in another class where like your math, you're having issue getting the textbook in your math course, or you're having issues, earlier it will come up to help you with those academic things. And this is part of the safety net here for the schools provided for you, because we know that this is a lot, and there's a lot going on here. We'll talk financial aid. I am not a financial aid expert, and I don't basically, yeah, anything in terms about payment and costs, go to financial aid. They will answer those questions for you. I can't answer those questions because I just don't know. In fact, when I was in my undergraduate, I was in the financial aid office twice every term, minimum twice each term, to make sure everything was filed and processed and done right. There was a term I think I was there like 4 or 5 times because something had gone wrong. So anything in that regard, just go to financial aid. Library services and technical support. Again, we don't like this is I know the bookstore is changing over this term. I know this term, if you've got there's access codes and whatnot, the bookstore will help you with that. Library services. Basically, one of the things that we have is laptop and a laptop loaner program. We actually just bought 5 new laptops that are quality to this program. That they were specifically designed with the ability to be developed machines that you could do the work in this program. So can run Unreal, can run Unity, can run Photoshop, can run 3ds Max. These are the primary applications we're using right now. And you can, if you, again, oh no, my laptop just died. Well, we can give you a laptop to work on while, a laptop to work on while we wait for your laptop to get repaired. So, anything regarding online classes in Canvas, there's an e-learning website. I'm actually just jump to it. So here's e-learning. So if you've got any issues, go to the e-learning group, and they'll help you with questions regarding Canvas or your online course. Things about access for your textbook for another platform, talk with your instructor as well. Actually, make sure your instructor knows that you're having issues. Student life, I'm going to go over this quickly. There's a bunch of different organizations, student government, honor society, student organizations for other groups. Student Success Center, we've talked about them. This also includes the Writing Center, the Math Lab, study groups, online tutoring, and a couple other. Under is the Office for Students with Disabilities. I'm going to go, there's another document just for that department alone I'll talk about. Testing services, I don't think we need any tests. There's any testing per se besides to get you into the program. But like there's no GED, there's no accreditation testing that we're doing right now with our program. But if you were to, but there are different test centers. One here, one at Denton, Flower Mound. Each of the campuses has some sort of testing services. Again, Gainesville being the mothership. Transcript and registrar services. This is mostly after you graduate from us. How do I get my transcript? It's through the registrar's office. If you have any questions about withdrawal, it's through the registrar's office. All right. I popped open a new tab, that's why. Which disability services? There it is. Let's do disability services next. Let's grab library, it's quick. So there's a library here on this campus, as well as Gainesville, Flower Mound, and Bowie. Basically, there's ntc.edu/libraries to give you the libraries. There are research databases through one login. The virtual system, here's Ask a Librarian. You can schedule an appointment in Upswing through one login. And then again, the library here for Hours, phone number, email the library nearest to you. Also, technically, the library is through how the loaner program works. Talk with me because I don't know if that's true. At some point, I know I'll be involved with that process because I have to say, like, yes, you actually need the laptop. So basically, just that's through the library as well. This is a short document. Get that out of the way. All right, let's go over Office of Students with Disabilities, or Accessibility Services is called in other places now. So OSD is the shorthand for it. This is basically, if you had an IEP in high school, you qualify for disability services. Just tell you that right now. How this works is that you have to go to disability services with your documentation and talk with them about what you need in terms of accommodations. And that's important, that you will get accommodations, not modifications. We're not going to modify. I'm not modifying the curriculum for your needs. That would be that would not be that would be detrimental to you. But we can accommodate you, and there's ways to accommodate you. Now, granted, me recording all the lectures is one of those ways. I provide a lot of PowerPoint slides. That's another way that I have provided. So don't feel bad about asking for accommodations, because I tend to take what you ask for accommodations and turn around and apply it to everyone else in the rest of the class. So you are actually, if you make me do something to accommodate you, I will find a way to benefit everyone in the class because you're asking for that. Bottom line. So don't feel bad about asking for accommodations through ODS. Some of you are going to need help. And I'll tell you right now, you don't need to disclose your disability. You don't need to disclose your disability if you're not requesting an accommodation. So, but I'll tell you right now, I'm sitting here in my seat as your instructor because during my undergraduate, I went to ODS, the version ODS at my undergraduate college. I needed help, and they helped me. And there are more than one ways that ODS can help you. It's not just academic accommodations. There were other services that I needed at the time. So don't be afraid to go to ODS. Don't make the mistake, oh, I'm now out of high school, I don't need that help anymore. No, you probably do. If the term that you'll probably hear is neurodiversity. If you're in that neurodiverse group in any way, you need help because you tick differently, and that's important. Is that you do tick differently. There's things that I can do. I can't do anything and this is the thing, I can't do anything for you until I hear from ODS first. Right? If you've got if you need help and you need an assistant in a particular way, I can't give you that help until ODS tells me I can. And that's the process. Basically, you go to ODS, you talk with them, and then they come back to me saying, these are the accommodations I should be, that can be provided for you. So. And again, I'm telling you this because I needed it. I'm outing myself, just self-disclosing that I needed this help when I was in where you're sitting right now. I needed the help, and I didn't get help right away, and that was a mistake. And I've seen several students do that. Who have some sort of disability in some way, and not getting the accommodations they need. I know this is a hot button issue, but you shouldn't feel ashamed. You shouldn't feel threatened by this. This is. We want you to be successful. Here is another part of the safety net to be successful. This is going through. So basically, I know Wayne Smith and Yvonne Sandsman are the two people here. Wayne is on our campus. And this is his email, and here is his number. So these are the people to talk to. I work well with Wayne. So don't feel. Yeah, I'd rather you give me a document about accommodations and already being served by the way I'm teaching already, than you not have the document. So. That's not what I wanted. There we go. All right. Facility inspired to be hired. So basically, this is a program the campus has implemented. Basically, it's about making you employable. So it's like there's four groups here. Sorry, ethical decision making, teamwork, collaboration, professional spoken and written communications, and problem solving. These are things that are looking for in terms of employable skills. And so you'll see this come up that this is QEP. This is basically making sure that not only are you skilled within the, in terms of the tools that we're teaching you, but you also have soft skills that are going to, and a lot of this is basically like ethical decision making. We'll have discussions about ethical decision making because that can get really interesting at times in the game industry. The interesting ethical decision making question at the moment is what is going on with Subnautica 2? Teamwork, collaboration, you will get that in the program through other courses. You will be in teams. You'll be working together on teams. This particular course, you won't be working in teams. Right now, we're just building you up so that you can work into teams. Professional spoken and written communication, that several assignments, particularly on written communications, but professional spoken, like at the end of this year, those of you who move on to Game and Simulation 2 specifically, you'll have a team project that you're going to present. Those of you make it into the second year and get into the capstone, there's again, you will be presenting the capstone. We do a show of games. Did I? I think I thought I put the show of games into the course. I know the date for this year's show of games, by the way. I just don't have it on me at the top of my head. Actually, let's bring it up. I know it is. It's May 7th. Problem solving. I mean, you're going to be given a lot of what you're going to do in this course is problem solving. How do I get from A to B with the tools that I've been given so far? And it's a lot of problem solving is basically, hey, I want to implement this feature. How do I go about doing it? That's problem solving. So there'll be stuff that you'll hear about. There's a career coach related to this. I'm not sure if Elise is still. This is an older document. I'm not sure, but the career center is where you'd get more training and development. They can help you there. I am again as an academic advisor also to help you. Can explain things. You're going to network through me early on, for example. So that's another thing. So this is just another program here. Basically, it's designed to making sure that what we're teaching you is going to get you out into the industry and be an effective employee, not just through what you know in terms of what you can do, but also working together with other people. Those are all the documents, I believe. Yep. Those are all the syllabus documents. Any questions about these documents? Any questions about the course? Feel free to, yeah. Yep. No, Wednesday you're here. Wednesday is lecture, so be here in class on Wednesday. Yeah. If there's a reason you can't be here on Wednesday, that's when you get a hold of me and say, hey, Professor Wallach, can't be here. I'll be on Discord. Yeah. I think someone that's been okay. That should have been flipped. I think I'm gonna have to look into. I think I know what happened. I think you've been told. Yeah, I think what's online what was put in was that should have been flipped. Wednesday should be your. I think they have Wednesday as your lab and Tuesday as your today as your lecture, Monday as your lecture. That should be flipped.
So Monday, I can be online, and Wednesday I need to be here.
Be here, yes.
Every Wednesday, basically. Right?
Yeah, basically every Wednesday you're here.
But Monday I can.
Monday, if you have a machine at home that can run on Unreal Engine, and you feel comfortable working at home, then you can work from home. But if you don't have a machine, if you can't run Unreal Engine reasonably, then be here in the classroom. This is when you'd have access to the machines to do your work. Yeah. Remember, think of this lab as a resource that you have access to.
So the laptop, the library laptops, do they work with the system or no?
What was that again?
The laptops in the library, do they work like?
There are specific laptops that we've just recently bought that are capable of doing the work for this course.
Yeah, because I actually got one like right now.
So, here's the thing about your laptops. I'm not IT. I can't support your laptop specifically. I can give you suggestions and give you things that you need to know. But ultimately it's your responsibility to make sure that like if you want to work on your laptop, you've got the software installed on your laptop.
Yeah.
Any questions? Any other questions? Time on the machine is wrong, so it says 121. It's actually 108. So it's a 50. It's actually a 15-minute. I gotta talk to IT. Boy, that's happening again. And never trust this clock. What time? Yeah, it's
11:10.
Yeah. Never trust that clock. So.
Those clocks are hardly ever right anyway.
Yeah.
As a matter of this is just a parallel dimension. By the time it's different.
There is a actual as a side. There's actually a scientific theory out there. It's a loose theory that we are living inside a black hole. And the reason the claim to that is that they have a idea of how much mass of the universe, if you took everything and you collected it as one big number for the mass of the universe, that mass and what we know for the size of the universe as we know it, match to the mass and size of a black hole equivalent. Yeah. So there's something. If you want to play with that even further, there's a show. It's an older sci-fi show called Lex, and we are considered. So in Lex, there's the light universe where the main characters come from, and there's our universe, which is considered the dark universe. So yeah, go figure. Go have fun with that. Lex is a very weird show. So it's like Star Trek, but off the rails. Nearly every episode. Any other questions? Any questions about the industry? I'll take any questions at all. A lot has been going on over the summer in the industry. Yeah. So I'll take.
Going to mostly be making one type of game, or?
No, we're gonna go. No. So in this course, we're gonna learn how to use Unreal Engine using the Blueprint system specifically, with Unreal Engine, and we're not gonna be building one type of game. And a lot of it, in fact, your early assignments aren't about building a particular game. It's about learning a particular feature of the engine. And this is I know one of the assignments you'll see in other courses is where we make a path runner. And it's like, hey, here's how we set up an array, and here's how we go through the array, and this is, we'll make, and part of that is, you'll see that I'm very function happy in Unreal Engine. And so, like, part of that is, well, we'll make a bunch of functions that do a particular thing that we want to do. Like, when we want to advance to the next item in the array and assign that to what we're using, we'll make a function just to do next target. It will be a function that we'll make. So that's an example of what we're doing.
Just having it be kind of mechanically sound.
Yeah, but this is about how we work generally in Unreal, things that we can do. I know later on, later next month, we will build a coin collection game. And one of the things we're going to do with the coin collection game is be like, okay, we make a generic coin that we start with, and we build our functionality off of that coin. And then we make children, basically we make variants of that coin. We call them, the functional term is children of that. So a blueprint class is a class. And you can take a class and make a child of the class that extends it and do different things. And that's what we're going to do is we make the generic coin, and then we make children of that coin and inherit and do different things in different ways with that coin. And they'll think there's things that I'm going to, when we get to that assignment, there's things we're going to set up that particular object, that class in a particular way, so that we can then go off and then, make those children efficiently. Those are the things that we're talking about in this course. But it's basically, first understanding of, hey, here's Unreal Engine. Here's what we can do with Unreal Engine. How is it laid out? How should you? And it's basically and I want to be very clear. There's a Unreal way for those who are not. I just use air quotes in class for those who are reviewing the video after the fact. But there's an Unreal way of doing things, and if you're fighting against that, you're fighting against how the engine is working. And one of the big things is Unreal has what's called a gameplay framework. And that's one of the first things we're going to look at, and we're going to understand and try and pull apart and understand. And that's huge, because once you understand what the gameplay framework is, then you know how you can build things on top of that for your application. And that's the goal, is that we're given, you've been given this framework, you've been given this engine, but you need to build your game on top of that. Your game logic needs to stand on top of that in order to make sense. And that's right now you're trying to understand what are the basic Lego blocks, essentially. Input in movement is those, the basic Lego blocks we're talking about. And once you understand how you can take this and apply it to that, then you can start building the systems that we're talking about. And it's going to take a while. Don't feel bad. If you are overwhelmed, it's okay. For most of you, it's your first time using Unreal Engine. How would you know? This is your first time using an engine in any situation. How would you know? You wouldn't. So you are learning, and so give yourself patience, and there'll be times that you will struggle. Right? I'll be honest with you. There will be times that you will struggle, and that is normal, and that's okay. There was a class over a decade now where I had it was a programming class, and I had a student struggle, and then somewhere after the middle of the course, the light turned on, and the student understood what they were doing. It was literally that eureka moment. They understood what they were doing and how they needed to go up and doing it, and they then completed the course without struggling. That's normal. That's okay. That's called growth. And my job is to help you through that as best I can. Right? That's my role, is to help you grow. Because what you learn, in the next 2 weeks, you're going to apply in the next 3 weeks after that. And what you figured out in those weeks, you're going to apply to weeks 6, 7, 8, 9. And then, we get to the coin collection game, and then you'll be opened up to do your own little project, if you choose to do so. So, And that's how the course is structured, is that I'm building you up bit by bit by bit. What you learn in this course, you'll apply into another course. And this is the same for the Unity course as well. What you learn in that first Unity course, you'll be expected to be able to apply in the next Unity course. And you will hit, less so with Unreal Engine, more with Unity, but you'll hit walls. Don't feel bad. If you feel like you're jumping through hoops and you're hitting a wall, you probably are. You probably should talk to me. So AI can recognize that you are hitting that wall and tell you why you're hitting that wall and what you can do to get around, up over the wall or go around the wall. Or in some cases, Kool-Aid Man through the wall. Sometimes it is Kool-Aid Man through the wall that you don't realize. I hope you understand that reference.
I got the reference.
Okay, all right. I'm getting older. I'm getting a little yeah. I'm getting older in comparison to you guys now. So if I make a reference to something you don't know, please ask. Please tell me, Professor Walling, I don't know what you're talking about. Perfectly fine. I just need to know that I'm old and I need to stop using those references. So, any other questions? I don't know if I put in the syllabus, but one of the things that you will need is a Google account. So essentially, I recommend you getting a Google account for professional purposes. And for that, like use your name. Don't be like the. I don't know. I'm trying to think of some really bad.
Legend 47.
What was that?
Legend 47.
Yeah, Legend 47. Something that's questionable in taste. Clown Paint 55. Yeah. So so something. Yeah. Make it. You should be looking professional in terms. Your name, for example, would be a good way to start. Most likely. The reason for that is I'm actually going to log into. Let me jump to. So I'm going to jump over here. So I'm going to jump in and log on. Again, I use Google for my account. Come on. There we go. Yes, it's me. Close this. There we go. Okay. And this is me logging in as we. Let me move this over. Ask you. It's going to be basically confirm. Update. Yay. Yes.
There we go. So here is Unreal Engine. There should be down here. Here is Unreal Engine. Fix now. Now I've got. There we go. So for here, basically we've got. Here is Unreal. So basically, you'll need to log in. So I used Google to log into my Unreal account. So I recommend getting a Google account for that purpose. You'll want this for Unity and for Unreal. Any other services that you might need professionally, put that through your Google account. And the reason for that is that you might have an email from somewhere else or through an ISP. Those can go away. Your Gmail account is that will be with you forever, basically. And you can do your business, you can do their professional stuff through that account. So I recommend again. I thought I had that. If I don't have that in the syllabus, I'm going to put that in the syllabus. I need to go correct that. But yeah, use that account to log into Unreal. Use that to log into Unity. There'll be other things you'll log in. Like, if you get access to Adobe stuff through the school, then it will be through your student email account. I've got 560, I believe. So if we go to under library, here's different versions. Again, it's yelling because there's a new version. I could update. I'm not going to do it right now because it'll take forever to do. So, if you've got to install something in this room, that's one of the things. If you've got a developer account, you can install things in this room, like a version of the engine that somehow it's missing. Again, I got 5.6 here. 5.6.1 is perfectly fine. Just be aware of what you're working with. If you install at home, what you're going to install as well. So just be aware. Projects. Let me see. Let's go back to you. You do have one assignment I want to get through to you right now. I'm just going to jump to here's modules. So the course is set up by modules. So this is the class introduction. Welcome to Unreal. We'll go over more about. There's a bunch of different PowerPoint slides that you should probably read. The syllabus is here. So working with assets, anatomy of a project, your first project, coordinates. We'll talk all about these on Wednesday. But you have a quiz that's due so today's the 25th, so Wednesday. I don't know when the time is on it. Let's go over the assignments just quickly. So quiz, basically, make this bigger because I can't read it. So it's a simple quiz. All right. Explain in your own words the course policy on asset stores and AI tools. 2, who owns Epic Games? One person owns Epic Games. They own 50, and what I mean by that, they have 51% of controlling of the company, and it's one person. Yeah, X company has this amount, and X company has paid into that, and X amount of that. But if said company makes a stupid request, said person can tell them, you've made a stupid request, and ignore them, and will do so. Because he controls the company, hands down. What's up?
Can I stand up? My leg's falling asleep next to my roots.
Let me finish this and I'll let you get up. After reading the slides given you this week, what's the one thing that stands out from them? So look, again, I've given you a bunch of PowerPoint slides. What's one thing that stands out from those slides? Epic versus Apple they went to court. Why did Epic sue Apple? What's the current state of the lawsuit? And then pick a game with Unreal Engine. Talk something about that game that appeals to you. You can pick a game with any version of the engine. It doesn't have to be like recent. It could be Mass Effect. The first 3 Mass Effects were made with Unreal Engine 3, for example. You could go back and talk about Unreal Engine Gold. Unreal Gold, which was the first game made with the Unreal Engine. Or Unreal Tournament, which is the second game made with the engine. That's Unreal Engine 1. You talk about a lot of the Splinter Cells games. That was made with the Unreal Engine. And there's tons and tons of different games out there that are made with this engine. But please make sure you give me an Unreal Engine game. I will mark you. I will take the points off for this question. If you give me something like Hearthstone or Magic the Gathering Arena, those were made with Unity, for example. No, those don't count. You give me something that was made with RPG Maker. You give me something that was made with Godot. I will take points off for that because it's not Unreal Engine. Yeah. I mean, and literally, you can go to Wikipedia and get a list of Unreal Engine games there. Go to their sizzle reel. Someone's doing something with Unreal Engine. So this is your quiz. This is basically, did you pay attention to the syllabus? Do you know who owns Epic Games? Because that's important. Did you look at the slides? Do you know about the Epic versus Apple? And this includes Google. They also did Google as well. But Epic and Apple are the two big parties in that. Google kind of stepped back and was more accommodating to Epic than Apple. And then do you know a game that was made with Unreal Engine? Do you play Fortnite? That's one right there. So.
Any Joy of Creation game?
What was that?
Any of the Joy of Creation game?
I don't know what the joy. I don't know that.
It's fan made FNAF.
I'm gonna say no because it's a fan name game. I'm looking at commercial releases. Yeah, I would prefer you to stay with a commercial release. I know as you get further back, that can get a little more bit messy of what amounts to a commercial release. But if you get it on Steam or the Epic Game Store, that will count. It's a good place to start. Even though that we talk about Black Mesa as a mod. There's a Black Mesa. Which is a remake. It's a remake of Half-Life 1 in Source Engine. Again, this can get messy at times. So, let's just go over I want to go to the lab assignment. So you're going to create a third-person project. I've got a bunch of different things, but basically, create a new level for the player to explore. Should be about so the level you'll given a basic level that will get bigger. Don't be afraid to explore elevation and height. So we're just going to play with the third person project for right now. We'll look at the first person project as well. We'll make another We'll make a first person project at some point. We'll make a third person project. We'll play around with first and third person for right now. You'll be using Blueprint. Don't make a C++ class. I wish I was recording that. It sounds like a mech walking by. Seriously. Yeah, so there are two ways to work with Unreal. There is Blueprint, which is the visual scripting system, and there's C++, which is the core programming system. It is. We're not going to touch C++ this term because it's a pain behind, and we have a whole course just devoted to explain why it's a pain behind. So we're going to stick with Blueprint. For the most, we're sticking with the Blueprint, and this will give you a good understanding of the systems and pieces in play before you have to jump in the hoops you have to jump with C++. Make sure you do set the scalable. Otherwise, Unreal is going to try and use as many resources as possible, and we don't need to. We're not doing anything that's like highly photorealistic that needs that. Again, we're going to target platform. Starter content, this is actually gone. So Wednesday, I'm going to show you how to import the starter content. There's actually a slide that there's a slide that I've made that I got to connect to Canvas. If you've got ray tracing, turn that off because you don't need that on. Because we're not doing anything we don't need the pretties all full blasting on our system. We talk about and I'll go over this again. Don't forget to use a working folder at the root drive. What we mean is, let me bring up. So here is your PC. And here is the C drive, which we'll be working on. In here, when I don't have it yet, I'm literally going to go in. I'm going to make a new folder. And call it working. I'll just call it work. Inside here, I am going to make a new folder for myself. And that's basically, I can't tell if I put another character in. Bring this over. I did. Well, I'm just going to correct that. There we go. My name is correct. So basically, I have a folder here for me to put projects for me, and that's something on all these machines. There will be like a working or a work folder at the root, and then a folder for yourself there. And this is where you'll be working out of most of the time. And this is so that this keeps your if you're working out of the documents folder, you are working out of a particular folder related to your account. You are also working with a URL that is like 50 characters plus already, and that's a detriment. This is just a professional standard that you'll see on a regular basis, that you'll be working in a working folder, and that you're close to the root as possible. So you're not, so that you've got the length of URLs as you need. I've actually had an issue where I tried copying a project to the desktop and it failed because I had folder upon folder upon folder, like so many folders that at some point I had ran out of characters for file names for that directory structure. So yeah, don't work on your desktop. Don't work out of, basically the bottom line is don't work out of the desktop. Don't work out of your user folder, your user folder, your downloads folder. Get out of there. Get into a working folder. Also, when you're working with GitHub, you'll be working out of this working folder as well. So that's another. You'll in some cases my working folder is labeled Git because that's where I set up GitHub. So your source control, you don't want to be in any of those folders as well. So, God forbid you have anything that's connected to OneDrive. It means you're now, when you make a change on that folder, it's going to try and push it to the network, or it's trying to copy it to the network directly. That will slow you down. And then the other thing is, don't work on your USB drives. Like, have a USB drive to copy things over as needed, but don't work off your USB drive because it's slow as heck. In fact, you'll take like 5-10 minutes to save something on the USB drive, as opposed to a second or so on the SSD drives we have. So, any other questions?
If we brought a laptop, could we just set it like right
Yeah.
in front? Okay.
Yeah. Not an issue. All right. Any other questions? Okay. It's 1:36 right now, so I'm gonna. So basically, this is today was just again going over the syllabus, class stuff. I'm gonna let you go early today. I know some of you need to get up and walk around, so that's okay. In the future, I'm gonna try and lecture about an hour, and then have us take a small break, and then come back and do the next hour effectively, or either that it'll turn into a lab. But effectively, I will try and break up the lecture halfway through, so it's not a huge man versus food sized serving of stuff. So. I'm gonna stop the recording right here. This will be up on Canvas later tonight.